and those, they do not see that what is to be seen is perfect and utter peace. What they're talking about there is natural nirvana. What is natural? Well, there's various types of nirvana. Nirvana with remainder, nirvana without remainder, nirvana in the extreme of peace. Here they're talking about natural nirvana, which is the direct perception of emptiness. In emptiness, everything is utterly peace. Emptiness surrounds us. I'm starting to sound like Yoda. Geshe used to always use because he was a diamond dealer, it's like a diamond. You can't see it, but one little bit of emptiness is equal to every large, all phenomena have their emptiness. They are not emptiness, but they're in the sense that they are, it's tough to articulate. But let me get on track. The tendency to see things as self-existently, you will then grasp to that things exist or things don't exist. There is absolutely no way that you will have a direct perception of emptiness. There is absolutely no way that you can use that direct perception of emptiness to destroy the mental affliction obstacles and the obstacles to omniscience that get you to nirvana. So people with the view that sees both themselves, meaning their mind, things in their mental continuum, and their body as self-existent, and external, anything that they don't consider themselves, all external phenomena, as having an inherent essence, will never get to nirvana. And they will have the tendency, if you have a belief that you have an inherent existence, you get great pride. Wrong, bad pride. And you get that sort of stinginess about possessions and everything. I believe the psychologist calls it me first and the gimme-gimmes. And all of that, if you destroy the tendency to see yourself as self-existent, you can no longer hold in your mind the tendency to see things as having inherent existence. And it says that that is liberation, but that's not quite liberation yet. You have destroyed creating further, when you've cultivated that perfectly, you have destroyed it collecting future karma. Like it stops the dependent origination that's causing your suffering. But you have countless bakchaks that are ripening from countless lives of bad karma and ignorant views, and those have to be worked at with your direct perception of emptiness. And I know there's probably argument whether that can stand up in debate, whether that would even be possible, but we're not getting that. The emptiness of emptiness and the emptiness of dependent origination, or the dependent origination of dependent origination. But the fools are those, just talked about that. When you have the direct perception of emptiness, you need that base, you need basic, if you guys heard talks about meditation, you need that base Tingensen, what they call about, like I recently saw X-Men 3, and I had pretty good Tingensen through, I think there was a scene between Wolverine and the Dark Phoenix. Then I had pretty good Tingensen. It's like kind of concentration where everybody else in the room could be talking to you, and your mind is there. Now, when you develop that, a kind of samadhi, then you get very strong king of concentration, which is called Vipassana, and the Tibetan is, I always get them, Lhunpo and, Shine. The Tibetan word for that is Shine. It's very strong concentration. You can put your mind on any object and keep it there nicely. And not fall off it. There's those levels, there's a classic 9 levels of you intermittently keep your mind, sometimes it's fuzzy, sometimes it's, there's various qualities to meditation. It's a heavy sort of, you can't see the object clearly. It goes up through these 9 levels. When you get to the end of 9 levels, you've got Shine. You need Shine to have a direct perception of emptiness, which is Platon, or in Sanskrit, Vipassana. And the Sanskrit one for Shine is Shamatha. shamatha. You need shamatha, that great concentration, or shine, to have vipassana or hlaton, that direct perception of emptiness. This direct perception of emptiness, whilst you're in the direct perception of emptiness, you cannot be thinking, I'm having a direct perception of emptiness. You're in the presence of the Dharmakaya. To think that I'm having a direct perception of emptiness is to have a conceptual thought. Geshe Roach used to always talk about the day where he's making some tea for his lama in the small kitchen in Jersey, and he looked down at the pot and he realized that he was making up the pot. I think I've had a couple acid trips back in the late 80s that were very similar. That all the various colors and shapes and handle and everything were hints of potness and teaness, but he realized that there was a mental image that he was projecting that was making up the pot. He saw chuchok. The chuchok is the dependent origination of that pot. Though that pot was dependent on his projection of it. Then he went and meditated in the temple and had a direct perception of emptiness. If before desire existed, if without any desire there existed a desirous one, independence upon that, there would in fact be desire. For when there is a desirous one, there is also desire. And this is pretty much the same sequential and simultaneous analysis. You cannot have a desire that existed before. You cannot have a desirous one, then grab desire. Because if they existed before desire, a desirous one cannot be a desirous one without desire. Similarly, there cannot be this disembodied desire out there floating around that then hooks up with Mr. Desire to become a desirous one. These things are dependently originated, but cannot exist sequentially, the way we think things do, and the way that it appears things do. And when they cannot exist at the same time, there would be, they would have to be hold in essence, they would have to be unchanging, and they would have no connection to each other. How are they existed? They are dependently originated mere appearances. They are projection of your past karma. Everything that you see around you is a projection of your past karma. If you want to see where you've been, look around you. And if you want to know, Rinpoche once said this, and you want to know where you're going, he once answered a question like, Rinpoche, what about the lamas who do roll mo, the lamas who roll divination for people? And he said, charlatans. Dana, you want to know where you've been? Look at your body and your place, the place where, like, are you living in a war-torn, country? Do you have nice food? Is your body functioning? Those are results from past karmas, You want to know where you're, and then, and this begs debate. This is the simple baby version of it. And then you want to know where you're going, you look at your mental state. But then any reasonable person would go, but hold it, isn't also your mental state a product of your past karma? And if that's the case, then karma exists you could use the emptiness argument, because ultimately karma is empty. So then karma is always in the past, it could not be existing now. You can use the same emptiness analysis with karma, to divide and try to break down karma, cause and effect. Mm-hmm. But how do you get, this is what I would always bring up, how do you get out if I have a serial killer's karma from